cigarettes, alcohol, gambling, all have warning lights. These are highly addictive. Some people can spend 4 or 5 hours just doom scrolling through social media. I mean, Twitter for me is the worst example of human society. If you're spending all day on Twitter arguing about this point, arguing about that political point, the majority of your interactions in life are negative. Howdy folks, greetings. Now today I want to talk a little bit about social media. I was having a chat with my dad the other day, and I've said on the channel a couple of times before, I've got a certain family member that's very, very addicted to social media and very, very addicted to the toxic side of social media, where she's getting all the political clips and videos and things thrown into the algorithm, and it's very toxic. And it got me thinking, we were chatting, is it time to actually start properly educating adults about social media, even with like warning labels on social media? Every other highly addictive substance or activity in life has warning labels on. Cigarettes, alcohol, gambling, all have warning lights. These are highly addictive, and social media is highly addictive. It's you know, I've often talked about education for adults with social media, because I think the kids are switched on with this stuff. When I talk to my son about it, how addictive social media, he knows everything that is posted is majority lies and stuff like that. They're switched on. But adults, it's hard for our generations to cope with this highly addictive thing that's just been inserted into our lives. And there needs to be more education about it, and maybe there even needs to start being warning signs. Now, the toxic part of it, because this is the problem, it seems like it's harmless on the surface, and it can be harmless on the surface, but it can be highly addictive, and it can be toxic, and it can destroy your life. And I've seen it happen in so many different ways. First of all, productivity. I don't know if you guys have ever read a book called The Art of Not Giving a F about what people think and do, and it has a section in the book where it talks about your time, and it says that it's kind of like you have a certain amount of coins that you can give out, which is your time and what you actually deem as important in your life. So say you've got 10 coins, and you'll give one out to your wife, to your kids, to your family members, to your friends, and you have like sort of 3 coins left. You know, what are you going to spend that time on? What is important to you? And most people are giving their coins away in massive amounts to social media. Some people can spend 4 or 5 hours just doom scrolling through social media, and it's is that important to you? When you tally that up during the course of a week, a month, a year, how much time you're spending on social media, when you look back in life, is you thinking that's the most productive I could have been with my time? All that time that I've spent on that, I could have spent more time with my kids. I could have seen that uncle that I haven't seen for ages, or spend more time with my mum or my dad before the time is up. And that's what social media does. You know, it pulls you into the sofa. It kind of just, it pulls you into the sofa to start doom scrolling and just giving you little injections of dopamines, just little injections, and you can just sit there and be satisfied and be comfortable. You know, that's the thing, isn't it, about being comfortable. It's not good to have too much comfort in life, and that's what social media does. And a lot of the time it can just be harmless stuff. My wife enjoys silly dog videos on Instagram and stuff, and she sends them to me, and that's her doom scrolling. But it stops you from being productive. But on the other side, when it can get really toxic, is when it gets political. And this is what's happening with a family member of mine, and Twitter in general. I mean, Twitter for me is the worst example of human society, of modern human society, where people just get together and they hate on each other. That is what Twitter is. It's hating. And it doesn't even have to be politics. I've seen the same thing in different areas of life. If you like Formula One, people get on Twitter and hate on each other because Lewis Hamilton should have won that race and he got that robbed, and football and things. But today, you know, with this family member, I'm talking specifically politics, but Twitter is just a place where people come together and hate. They hate each other. And when you think back, you know, we used to have sort of like a culture where you go down the pub and you see your friends and you chat about stuff and you'd have nice social interactions. But it seems now we just, majority for some people, majority of people's interactions in life are negative. If you're spending all day on Twitter arguing about this point, arguing about that political point, majority of your interactions in life are negative. And imagine if that was played out in real life. If you meet 10 people in a day and every single one of those interactions was heated and angry and you hated on each other, you'd feel awful. And, you know, that's why we have so many problems with mental health in the Western world, because we're spending so much of our time just hating each other constantly, just negative interactions all the time. And doom and gloom, and this particular family member that I'm talking about has just gone down the anti-Muslim, the Reform Party, Nigel Farage, and now Twitter is just constantly pumping this stuff out to them all the time. They're getting angry, and they're at the later part of their life where this is a horrible way to live the last few years of your life. Just thinking, oh, the world is doomed, the kids are awful, the country's being taken over by Muslims. It's such a horrible way to live the end years of your life. It really is. And going back to the original point, we need to have some sort of education out there for adults, because people seem to think of social media as just, you know, just something fun, just not really that much, but it can have such a negative impact on people's lives. Productivity, politics, just, you know, there needs to be at least starting with some sort of warning label, some sort of decent education out there for adults about social media and about the lies. You know, there's documentary on Netflix, can't remember what it was called, it's quite old, a couple of years old, where it had a Twitter exec on there that said quite plainly, lies travel faster than the truth. Every single post that is a lie gets retweeted, shared, travels far quicker and far more often than the truth. And when you go on Twitter now, it seems like about 70% of it is just all lies. And this is the problem with the older generation. They're used to, I think they're used to a world where, you know, you trust the newspapers. The newspapers had to adhere to a certain standard, you know, in case of being sued for libel and things like that. They couldn't just put out blatant lies all the time. I know they got away with it now and again, but the majority of the time they had to put out the truth. And I think the older generation are used to relying news source, but now our news source is Twitter, and 70% of it is lies, just pure lies. I could go on Twitter right now, I could spend the whole day promoting Muslim or any single thing that any Muslim person is doing wrong on the street. I'll clip a video, put it out. And this is what this particular family member is being fed all the time. Every single time there's a Muslim person behaving badly on the street, they're getting shown that video. But they don't get shown the video of the local mosque that's going out and feeding the homeless people, the Muslim charity event that's helping in these. They don't see those. They'll never see them. Anyway, I'm going off a bit. What's your thoughts, guys, on social media as a whole? Do you think we should have warning labels on Twitter? We need to have some sort of better education. Till next time, if you enjoyed the video, click a like. It does help to share it out. And if you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top. Be another video there. You can check that out as well. Till next time, take care.
React to the Declaration of War. I will say no more than that.
Oh, it's so exciting, Tom.
It's an intriguing example of the tensions there.
So a few fascists go abroad. William Joyce is the most famous. He's the man who's cropped up again and again in this podcast.
So he's the guy with the slash across his face, the Joker.
Yeah, he looks like the Joker. He has been always on the more violent, the more extreme wing of Moses' movement. He goes off, he says, I'm going to go and become a German. And he spends the
Just
war
going through red
broadcasting
lights now.
propaganda into Britain, which is listened to by colossal quantities of people.
Berlin calling. Berlin calling.
It's like we've got him on the podcast. Chilling. A chilling resemblance, but a chilling but instructive resemblance, I would say, Tom. He's broadcasting to